Hello, guys and girls, and welcome to today's NTI assignment. Today, we are going to continue building on what we've been talking about for the last several days, which is going to be our focus on social media and the risks and rewards that come along with using social media. Specifically today, we're going to be reading an article, and that article is going to talk about some reasons why people, specifically young people, are choosing to disconnect from social media. Social media, meaning reasons why they are taking a step away from social media. I do want to remind you before we get too deep into our assignment today what our research question is. Is social media risky or rewarding for teens? And I said this in the video yesterday, but I'll just remind you here again today that the reason that we're focusing on this is because next week when we are back together in class, we're going to be participating in a Socratic seminar. And then after the Socratic seminar, we will be completing our writing piece answering this question. So for a while now in class, we've been looking at different resources that are giving us different perspectives on this question. So now we're going to read our article. It is called Why Young Adults Are Taking a More Mindful Approach to Social Media. And then at the end of the video, you are going to be answering some questions about the text. So please be sure you are paying close attention as we go through our reading for today. Today, we are more connected than ever. The internet has given us a peek into one another's relationships, breakfast bowls, makeup routines. Still, it's clear that social networks can stretch only so far. That's why some teens are souring on them and choosing to invest their time becoming reacquainted with people in the real world. In fact, unplugging may be the chicest thing you can do right now. Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian West, Selena Gomez, Kendall Jenner, Miley Cyrus, and Gigi Hadid have all recently taken a hiatus from Instagram. A lot of the world feels so much entitlement in other people's lives, which is so crazy, Gigi has said, on a social media break of her own to focus on her work and the relationships that are meaningful to her. Virtual reality. When Faith, 17, moved from a Philadelphia suburb to a new school in New York City, quote, one of the ones that Gossip Girl was based on, end quote, she adds, the first few months were rough. It was hard for me to make friends. Feeling insecure, she used her phone as a PR tool, posting perfectly captioned stories that made it look like she was having the time of her life. I wanted to make people back home think I made friends instantly, she said. In reality, I was struggling. Now that she's found her own crew, she's grown more skeptical about social media. She also doesn't feel compelled to get in on film. At a Coldplay show, she sang instead of snapped. I'd rather enjoy the music. And sitting down to a recent dinner, she and her friends piled their phones in the middle of the table. It made the night so much better. Connecting IRL. Young adults are beginning to take a more mindful approach to social media, says Jacqueline Nessie, a researcher at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, who studies teens and social media. This may explain the rise in apps like self-control and antisocial. Both prevent you from falling into a Facebook hole. And that no phone at dinner policy, Nessie says we are likely to see it popping up on more tables. When Olivia, 20, found herself glued to virtual acquaintances' Snap stories, it bugged her. I was always picking up my phone and wanting to see what other people were doing all of the time, and that curiosity wasn't normal, she says. She eventually deleted her Snapchat. Anada, 17, had the kind of Insta following that any startup would kill for. Before long, it became a total chore. What started as a place to share vegan recipes and cute outfits quickly became her brand, something that demanded daily upkeep. Her fans constantly direct messaged her with praise and invites to meet up. It was really sweet, she says. At the same time, it was so time and energy consuming. It wasn't how I want to build friendships. And she started posting less, her following dropped. That gave me anxiety, she says. Finally, she just closed her account. I do miss it, but I have time to spend with my real friends. Social media relationships aren't real relationships, says Faith. It's always weird when you see someone who follows you and you follow back, but you don't say hi to each other when you see them in real life. Question number 1. Read the following excerpt from paragraph 1 of the text. Today, we are more connected than ever. The internet has given us a peek into another's relationships, breakfast bowls, makeup routines. Still, it's clear that social networks can stretch only so far. That's why some teens are souring on them and choosing to invest their time becoming reacquainted with people in the real world. What is most likely the meaning of the word reacquainted as it is used in this paragraph? A, to meet someone for the first time. B, to get to know someone again. C, to avoid interacting with others. Or D, to connect with people online. Number 2, what is the central idea of this article? A, some young adults are taking a break from social media and getting reacquainted with the real world. B, young adults are using social media to become close friends with virtual acquaintances. C, young adults are using social media to make fun of others and bully people. D, some young adults are starting to use Instagram more than Facebook. Number 3, based on paragraph 6, what does a mindful approach to social media mean? This is paragraph 6. Young adults are beginning to take a more mindful approach to social media, says Jacqueline Nessie, a researcher at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill who studies teens and social media. This may explain the rise in apps like self-control and antisocial. Both prevent you from falling into a Facebook hole. And that no phones at dinner policy, Nessie says we are likely to see it popping up on more tables. Our options are A, listening to music online in order to calm one's mind. B, using social media to engage in activities online instead of taking a class in person. C, paying attention to the words people use instead of only depending on their facial expressions. D, paying attention to everyday activities instead of being on social media. Number 4, which detail from the passage best supports the idea that a mindful approach to social media is beneficial? A, quote, today we are more connected than ever. The internet has given us a peek into one another's relationships, breakfast bowls, and makeup routines, end quote. Paragraph 1. B, quote, feeling insecure, she used her phone as a PR tool, posting perfectly captioned stories that made it look like she was having the time of her life, end quote. Paragraph 4. C, quote, this may explain the rise in apps like self-control and antisocial. Both prevent you from falling into a Facebook hole, end quote. Paragraph 6. D, quote, when Olivia 20 found herself glued to virtual acquaintances' snap stories, end quote. Paragraph 7. Number 5, how does the author primarily structure why young adults take a more mindful approach to social media? That's the title of the article. A, by describing the process of using social media. B, by sharing the perspective of different teenagers. C, by presenting facts and statistics from research on social media. D, by comparing anecdotes from teenagers with scientific research. Okay, that is going to do it for today's assignment. It was pretty short, sweet, and to the point today. That was done intentionally because I still have several friends who have missing NTI assignments. So since you probably got through this pretty quickly, please do me a favor, check Infinite Campus, check Google Classroom, make sure you have everything submitted so that I can update those grades for you. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you need me, reach out through Google Classroom or through email, and hopefully I'll see you all soon.